Greetings to all. In this video, I'll be explaining the changing wallpaper application. The statement of the program is develop an application to set an image as wallpaper. On click of the button, the wallpaper images should start to change randomly every 30 seconds. The UI is very simple. You need a text view which states as changing wallpaper application and a button. On the button it is labeled as click here to change the wallpaper. So let us start executing this program. We go to new project, empty view activity, and I label this program as wallpaper program 4 and click on finish. It takes some time to load the entire packages needed for the app development. Yes, now the packages are being uploaded. We have our Android ready. So let's start with the design. In the design, we already have a text box. I simply drag it to the top of the layout and we change the text of this. So we have to scroll down to the attribute and look for the text option. Now instead of hello world, we will give it as changing wallpaper application. Changing wallpaper application, and it has to be in capital letters. So text alignment, will put it to the center, and any color you want to change, this time I'll go with blue color, and we change the font size of this to make it 24, right? And all caps, we check this so that all the letters are in capital letter, and text style, change it to bold, and I say apply. Now it is done. Of course you have a constraint also for this text box. It's simple. Next is you need a button, so I drag the button here. The button should be labeled as click here to change the wallpaper. Again, everything should be in capital letters. So I say click to change wallpaper, and align that to the center of the button and make it all capital letters, and we put it to the center, and don't forget to give the constraint to it for fixing the position in the constraint layout, right? So it is fixed now. We have this. Now this need to be interacted in my Java code, so we need an ID to this. To make it simple, we will call it as btn_wall, and then when I click here, it asks for refactor. Click on refactor. Yeah, it is all done. So we have the UI ready. Coming to our Java code, our first step is for the button that has been created, we have to assign a variable to it, and since we need to have the images and it need to change, our first step here is we have to copy all the images. I already have few images which are 6, so I copy these images. Come to Android, as we have done in the first program, in the res folder drawable, paste, and it asks for the first one. Better choose the first option there, and I say okay. All these images I want to have it in the drawable. Yes, all the images are being there here. Now because we have the images again that need to be stored, I come here. So our first step is we have a button, and in the Java we are naming it as btn. We are having one data type called as boolean, and the variable assigned to it is running. And for all the images we are storing in an array with the name as ia, and it is in the res folder, so we name it as r.drawable.img1. that is the name of the picture that we have saved. So it means you are in the R folder, drawable folder, and then I want an image one, and all these images are stored in an array called as IA. So these are the first declaration of the variable that we need in our code. So I copy paste this. As usual, we first have to import the button class. So right click, context, import class. So we have the button class also been imported. The next step is we have to assign this btn to the btn underscore wall, which is created in the XML. So because it is a button, it should be an on-click listener. So we use this part of code to link the Java variable to the reference in my XML, which is with the btn underscore wall. And because it's a button, we use on-click listener. So I copy this and then we paste here. As usual, we have to have this show context. Choose the second option, reference of this, as we have done in all other program. I say okay, so it gives you on-click view. In this on-click view, we have the actual program code where we are going to check if it is not running. You are calling a class called as timer and schedule an event to that by calling my timer as your class, which is user defined function set from 0, and the desktop of changing the wallpaper should go till 3000 milliseconds. Okay, I say it is for 3000 milliseconds you want the program to run by changing the wallpaper, and later we set that to running equal to true. My timer is a user defined function, so it comes to user defined function here, which is a my timer, and in this my timer we are going to run a function by calling a try and catch option, where we have a wallpaper as your class. An object created is wallpaper manager, and then we are getting the instances from the context. Random is a class assigned to an object called as random and calling a random method. Then from the method that we have, we are calling a bitmap factory, where decode is going to help us in identifying from where resources I have to find. Resources are in IA, an array, and you are asking it to take the images from IA in a random manner and set it in the wallpaper manager. So it goes to the desktop and helps. This particular command is going to help us in fetching the value from the IA in random manner and then putting it on the desktop. So we have the catch exception, and this helps in running our program. Okay, so let's get back to this code, where we have to type on click listener calling the user defined function, and then we are having the function being ready. So here we have this on click listener and we have the wallpaper manager. All these have been there. So first part is it is asking timer. So first we don't know what is a timer. The class has to be imported. Show context, import that class. And we have a timer extend. Again, we need to resolve that by importing the class here for the timer. Wallpaper is again a class that need to be imported. So I say import that class. Random is another class that we need to import with the java.util, and we have bitmap factory. Import that class. IO exception also we have to have importing that particular class. So here we have bitmap, and that bitmap we have to set it to true and go to add permission. So don't forget to do this. The line of wallpaper manager will turn red. Go to the leftmost, you have the bulb option available, and then you set the permission in this manner. The other method of doing a setting the permission is you can go to your app manifest, set permission to true is also the second method, or we can directly click here by going to add permission, which is a shortcut for this. So it has removed it. Our program code is ready. It's very simple. I just get back to it. First we have done the designing by using a text box, and a button is created For the button, ID is given as btn_wall. The next step in the Java code is, for the button, we are specifying a Java variable called as btn. Boolean is running, and all the images that we have stored in the drawables are being now assigned to a variable for IA, which is an array of the type int. Then we need to link this btn button to the btn_wall. Because it's a button, we go with set on click listener, and then what action has to be done on clicking this button. We are writing the code here with the timer and as well as using the wallpaper manager. Next is set the bitmap to true by adding the permissions to it, right? The code is ready. Now let us run the program. Take some time to set it. Yes, it's almost getting ready, and once the run window is set with the connections being done, yes, we have the button ready. So on click of this button on the desktop, the images that we have stored start changing at the interval of time. So we have clicked the button. I have to go back to the desktop, so I click this to go to the desktop. So at random, the images are being getting selected and displaying on the desktop. So you can see at every interval, at a set interval of time, we have the images which keeps changing, and it runs for 300 milliseconds. So this is a very simple program, and I hope you have learned it. Thank you all.